I wasn't in prison during this pandemic. I barely skirted by. That would have been so fucked. Because it was a thing. I want to say it was a thing when I was in prison. Was it?
What was that?
So it started in like February. When didn't you get out? I think
it's been a year though. You know, it's been 14 months.
But you got out in like in October, right?
I think I went. Yeah.
Your
that sounds right.
Your first episode back was October 5th, 2019.
So it might have been a Chinese thing.
Yeah, I guess it was just getting started over there. It seemed like we had heard of it though. I don't know. Maybe not though. But in any case, like, man, that would have sucked.
Yeah. Yeah, they wouldn't do. It's nearly impossible to not have it spread throughout the prison.
We're just stacked on top of each other, literally. Like we're in bunk beds, and then the bunk beds aren't even separated. Like if you're on the top bunk, you turn to the left and there's a guy on the top bunk. You turn to the right, there's another guy. Like we're just fucking sardines in there, and then we're 4 rows thick.
How did people handle masturbation?
Huh?
How did people handle masturbation in prison?
I assume that they're either. So I would see people who had like, if they were on the bottom bunk, they would have like a sheet put up like a curtain. So either they just wanted some privacy, or that's what they were jerking it, or in the shower, I would guess. Like I said before, I did not feel any urges while I was in there. I was just too stressed out.
You didn't see anybody either. You weren't like,
no, but I certainly wasn't looking for it. You know, the last thing I would want to do is catch someone masturbating.
That's actually in watching Lockdown 23. I've talked about this before, but that was one of the aspects. They're like
Woody's rules. You caught me. You gotta finish.
Rules came back to bite me in prison.
This was way better when I was on the receiving end. So Lockdown 23. I think he was maybe a new prisoner at the time. He was walking down and he looked inside somebody's cell. Right, so I think it was much different than your situation. You had more of a dorm type, but they had individual cells with a pair of people in them. And as he walked by, he looked down, and the guy liked him, but nearly beat him down for it. You know, he had to really sort of, I don't know, apologize and say he didn't understand or that he couldn't resist. And apparently, eyes forward, motherfucker. Like when you walk down that hallway, you do not snoop into everybody's cell. And
that's what I tried to do. And it wasn't like anybody warned me. It just seemed like the right thing to do.
Were you able to be perfect every minute for 2 months?
Oh yeah. I just pick a spot. It's like when you're driving, you just pick a spot in the distance and just focus on that. You don't look at the yellow line skipping right in front of the hood. You know, you pick something way up ahead.
What if there was something interesting? You just focus. You wouldn't get sucked into.
You got to say my name if you want me to turn my head.
Okay.
I would showers for sure. Then the showers, I'm just like, all right, I'm walking out now, like looking up and to the left, and the shower stalls are on my right. Yeah, you know.
I feel like I would do the same, but I don't know that I would do the same always without flaw for years. You know, if I had 3 years, right? Like, can I go 3 years without peeking in some asshole's cell? What if it's noisy? What if I don't know what that noise is?
What if there are screams for help in there?
Right? What if there's a grunt? Right? He could be lifting. I don't know but I want to know.
I'm not looking.
The best version of me is not looking, but tell me I don't make a mistake in 3 years.
Oh, you'll make a mistake.
Right?
Then they'll make an example.
Then I won't make any more mistakes. That's how I learn.
Yeah. Well, we just took out his left eye, so now he don't have that problem. Good God. I'm so fucking glad I'm not back in that fucking prison, man. That was awful.
Dude, I'm stressed about going every so often. I didn't do anything.
Dude, it's so not fun. It's so not fun. It's just so lame.
You go so far as to say it stinks.
It stinks. It doesn't literally stink. It smells fine in there.
That guy
it smells
does. The
Smells
talker?
like bleach, Clorox.
The Jerry Kill guy?
Oh, that's a different story. That's a different story. That man's hair product was obnoxious. Fucking Gregg down there. I can still, I'm up on that top bunk looking at him. He was tall. It's black, 55, 65-year-old black man. I can't tell. Something like that. Black don't crack. He could have been 78. I don't know. But just talking to himself all the fucking time. Wouldn't shut the fuck up. Just all the time. Gonna have a big day today? Yes, sir. Gonna get out there. Gonna get that breakfast. Hell yeah. Pancake day today, son. Pancake day today.
Did people tell you why they were in? Or is that like a privacy? Like you would.
I never asked, but the people would volunteer. You know, if they wanted to tell me, they'd tell me. I would tell people sometimes, but you know, why I was there. But I don't remember what Gregg had done. He was in for 14 total years. I think it was some sort of violent crime. He had like 4 left, roughly speaking. I don't remember all like exact numbers. There was a bank robber who was like doing like the last 5 of 25 or 28 years or something like that. There was the guy who had who had bought food stamps from people. You know, people had food stamps. He owned a grocery type store. He'd give them cash so that they could probably go around and buy drugs from some third party. But for him, you know, he can just cash those food stamps in for full value because he has a grocery store. Gave him 5 years. Snow was obviously in there for moving methamphetamine, and there was the one guy who was in there for like some sort of computer fraud, hacking type scheme that he'd been part of. The other guy next to me for moving an ounce of cocaine. The guy right below him was in there for lots of OxyContin, lots of pills, and a little bit of like conspiracy to go along with it because, you know, they had proof of him being like, yeah, we gotta keep this under wraps and don't tell anybody this and you don't tell anybody that and I'll sell you this for this. And now it's a criminal conspiracy, which comes with its own charges. Lots of shit like that. A little bit of everything, lots of drugs. And the older guys were often in there for violent crime because they had done like 90% of their sentence and they were serving the last 10% down at this lower level of a prison. But people like Snow and some of the older guys who were like late 40s to 70s had all done some serious shit somewhere and served already 20 years or so somewhere else.
You think
a little bit of everything.
With the people who did bigger crimes, did they look more apt to be violent? Like were you like, this guy's scary. This guy looks like he's capable of, I don't know, hurting someone. Willing to. I guess capable's different, but it looks like he's willing to. Some
weren't. Like it just depended. Like I felt like the guy who ran the laundry was the scariest guy in there because he had a temper, and he was doing like the last 2 or 3 years of 10 years or something like that for probably drugs as well. And he was kind of young and fit. Like he looked like he'd be a real problem. He's the one who I got in a real shouting match with over the TVs. He seemed like he would be a real hassle to deal with. He reminded me of. I can't think of the black actor's name, but he's always in like gladiator movies and stuff. He's the guy in John Wick who runs the front desk. Yes, Mr. Wick. Would you like a room with a...
Is it the guy from Spartacus?
Yeah, the guy from Spartacus. Yeah. He reminded me of that guy, except not quite as old. He, like that guy, but young. Like he was fit.
It's not even a matter of how easily they could kick my ass. It's just how willing they are to kick my ass, right? Like that's a big part of it. The guy could be 50 years old, over the hill, right? And like, I don't know. If he just wants to, that's a problem.
Absolutely it is, because we're not going to like square off somewhere and like there's not going to be a referee. He's probably just going to attack me while I'm sleeping or showering.
Yeah, locking his sock. That's
the old Uncle Terry special.
That's I used to roll with prison guards, and that was what they used in that prison. They put a padlock in his sock.
Yeah,
and just imagine being hit on the back of the head of that by surprise.
In the mouth. It could kill you.
I told that story long ago about Uncle Terry. It wasn't my uncle. He was my cousin's uncle. He was like my cousin and I had the same. Our fathers are brothers, and but his my cousin's mother's brother I hope you're following this.
Yeah.
So his uncle, not my uncle, and no way related to me. I just want to lay that out there because this guy's such white trash. Uncle Terry, like, he was telling this story about being in prison and like, yeah, a N-word knocked all my teeth out. And I was like, how? And as he's taking his teeth out to like show that he has no teeth, he goes, a lock and a sock. He had put a padlock in a sock and, you know, wrap it once around his fist. And then he had like this flail type weapon that's